Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Boom, and we're live. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another busy day in the markets with InstructFX. My name is Andrew, and today I'm bringing you the latest news from the markets before the opening bell, along with Reiaan Hobson from the heart of South Africa. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. We have Reiaan Hobson joining us as we speak. Reiaan, very good afternoon to you. How is South Africa doing today?
Good afternoon. It's actually excellent. On this side, actually, in South Africa, the finance minister announced yesterday that people can withdraw from their pension funds. So a portion, not all of it, a portion. And you would see the headlines all over the show. People can't wait. And that will actually just drive inflation more. But, well, it's money coming into people's pockets.
Yes, that's a good news. I had a question that I wanted to ask you yesterday, but it slipped my mind. Thank God I remember today. Reiaan, do you know how to make a tissue dance?
A tissue dance? No idea.
You put a little boogie in it. What's life without a smile and a joke? Good morning, South Africa.
Terrible one.
South Africa. Right, me and my terrible jokes, I know. Just to, in my defense, it can get much worse. I'm going to show you as we go along. Right. It was only yesterday, Reiaan, we were talking about a potential change of trend for the US dollar and the euro. And there you go. Euro USD up 0.3% today. GBP USD up 0.4%. And the US dollar index down 0.3% so far on the European trading session. Did you trade last night, Reiaan?
Just admit that you owe me a bottle of whiskey. Just admit it.
Oh, mate, I can even give you 2 bottles of whiskey. It's not a problem.
I got it right. I did with my trading. Actually, it went perfect. Actually, waking up this morning was the best part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was the best part. On gold, oil, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. My favorite.
Right. Do you know what the best part for me is when I wake up in the morning? I look left, I look right. There's no one to bug me. So I can wake up and enjoy the rest of the day. Right. While you were busy trading crude oil yesterday, I was looking at the crypto markets last night. Decent gains, but nothing spectacular. The crypto market was up about 5% yesterday. But after the movement in the Forex market, things started slowing down. And today I saw the crypto only up 0.5% according to Coinbase. But hey, we're still on the positive side, right?
Absolutely. I'm actually disappointed in the crypto. I thought we would have get more after the FOMC meeting.
How are your cryptos doing, by the way, Reiaan?
Nothing much. I'm still waiting for you.
Yes, you don't have any. Right. I told you it's only a matter of time. Sooner or later, you're gonna follow me on this journey. Right. We're a few minutes ahead of the opening bell. Shall we get started? Should we launch this beautiful afternoon show with the news of the day?
Oh, yes. I'm ready for it.
All right. Let me do the headlines of the day, and then you can take over with the commodities markets. Right. Ladies, gentlemen, traders, let's get down to business and see what's happening in the markets on this beautiful Thursday, July 29th, 2021. The US dollar index fell to a 2-week low after the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell indicated at a press conference last night that the central bank won't be rushed into running down its bond purchases, which are currently running at $120 billion a month. The dovish tone that Jerome Powell used last night not only sent the US dollar index lower, but helped gold futures gaining over $20 on the US trading session. The New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced last night that starting this Friday, New Yorkers will be incentivized to get the COVID-19 vaccine with $100 after a surge in COVID cases in the last few days. Last Friday, the rolling average of new daily cases was 32% higher than a week prior, and a number of protocols have been implemented in the city to avoid the virus spread. According to New York State Department of Health data, between 45% and 65% of New York City residents are fully vaccinated so far, but with the new incentives offered by the city of New York, this number might rise substantially in the upcoming weeks. With the earnings season continuing at full throttle, the US indices are expected to open mixed today, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.4%, the S&P 500 up 0.2%, and the Heavy Nasdaq trading flat ahead of the opening bell. Although Facebook reported fantastic gains yesterday, its share price tanked 4% pre-markets open after the social media giant warned of slowdown in advertising revenue in the next quarter due to regulatory changes. PayPal also suffered yesterday with a drop of almost 5% in its share price after reporting a sharp slowdown in net new users. The earnings calendar brings us today AstraZeneca, Amazon, MasterCard, T-Mobile, and another handful of high-cap companies reporting. And traders will closely monitor the latest statements coming from these high-cap performance in hope for a good positioning on the markets. And now, your favorite, cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies slowed down after the most recent rally, with Bitcoin steady at $40,000 and Ethereum still holding on to the $2,300 mark. With the Ethereum London hard fork expected to happen next week on the 4th of August, we might see some interesting movements in the upcoming days. So the breather that the cryptocurrencies took for now should start making sense. And now, my favorite line, guys. From Europe to South Africa, from Limassol to Cape Town and London, this is InstructFX News. US markets open, coming up. Right. Once again, good day, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are. We have Reiaan Hobson with us, bringing us the latest news from the commodities markets. Reiaan, the stage is yours. What is happening with crude oil? What is happening with gold? What is happening with natural gas and the soft commodities today?
I think yesterday with the oil inventories, I thought the US would have actually have a bit of a uptick in oil inventories, but actually none of the sort. It actually went to drawdown of about 4.1 million. But then I got an interesting article actually on, let me just make sure, Street Smart. I don't want to actually mess up the article. Streetinsider.com. And this was about the crude inventory decline, 4.1 million barrels, say the EIA. Now, this is actually the interesting part, the first section, where they say this is the summary of the weekly petroleum data for the week ending July 23, 2021. So it goes on by saying the US crude oil refinery inputs averaged about 15.9 million barrels per day during the week ending July 23, 2021, which was 132 barrels per day less than the previous week's average. Refineries operated at 91.1 of their operable capacity last week. Now, this is the interesting part. Gasoline production increased last week, averaging 9.8 million barrels per day. Distillate fuel production decreased last week, averaging about 4.7 million barrels per day. Now, this is the guilty party here. The gasoline production increased last week with an average of 9.8 million barrels per day. Now, then we have a shortfall of about 4.1 million barrels per day. So the demand for gasoline, if you look at the consumer confidence as well, and that was actually the one that actually produced quite a lot of fuel, and that actually pushed up the oil prices. So people are driving definitely in the United States because there is actually a demand for that. Now, if you look at the charts, and after that news, the oil prices just went up. And you have to be specific when you go through the US oil inventories, because you can get different types of oil. For example, if I go back to the article again, like your Cushing, actually, that might be higher up. And that doesn't mean that the oil price will go up. But if your gasoline, actually, if that push out the drawdown, then definitely that will cause the oil prices to go up. For example, it was 1.1 million expected. It came out at 2.5 million. So the gasoline is the one that actually caused the drawdown in the oil production, and that actually pushed up the weight for the oil production to go up. Sorry, for the oil price to go up. So the crude oil, if I just look at the chart here, it's at 72. At one stage, it was up by 1%. I think it was a few hours ago. By 1%, you have your Brent that is up by 0.7%, natural gas, heat oil, your spot Brent, and obviously your spot crude. But this was the one where oil price was sitting at 72.48 yesterday when we were chatting. And then I told you we will see that spike up, but that was with the FOMC meeting yesterday. And at one moment it went up and then it came down, and then oil just went back up again. But it's all to do with this one line yesterday. Since then, the economy has made progress towards these goals, and the committee will continue to assess progress in coming meetings. Now, one stage it looked like the Federal Reserve would taper, and then the next moment it was like, this guy is not serious here. So we will just start to sell off the dollar. And that is where the commodities were starting to go up, and especially your crude oil inventories. Now, that actually made my day, or I would say my night last night. And even when I woke up this morning, up in the green, especially with gold, oil, Australia, New Zealand, and Canadian dollar.
You got it spot on. Well, all the signs were pointing for that direction, Reiaan. Right. What can you tell us about the charts? What's happening with the major commodities today, and also with the soft commodities? If we have any updates.
The one thing is about oil. Sorry, about gold. Gold is trading now at about 1825. Now, I was actually saying yesterday, I think we were sitting at about 1800, a touch lower there. And this is where you saw that huge spike down. Look, that was a bit of a heartbroken last night. I was thought, oh, I'm in the wrong year. And then gold just flew up. Personally, I think there's a bit of a fear that goes on in America, and that's why the gold price is going up. Now, also this morning, your favorite, cocoa, was again up today. It's still sitting on that heavy resistance there on the 1 hour chart. Corn also, sorry, just gonna get that. Corn is the other one that actually were going up slightly, not that much, but I think it's hitting a bit of a resistance there. But the best one is still cocoa, and then you have your coffee as well.
Right, we can see a very interesting aggressive movement to the upside for cocoa as we look at the charts right now.
That for me is still a surprise. Sorry about that, but that for me is still a surprise, because you have summer in the northern hemisphere, but it's actually going still up.
Right, you know what cocoa? What triggers cocoa usually, Reiaan? You know, the population. World population keeps increasing, yeah, and you have a lot of kids, yeah, a lot of babies, and we know they love their cocoa and milk in the morning, and probably this is what is triggering this aggressive movement. Right. Update us on other soft commodities. What else do we have? How is natural gas looking today, Reiaan?
Natural gas, here we are. This one I actually draw a bit of a line for you here. This I'm a bit in two minds there, because obviously the weather is changing now. It's getting a bit colder in Europe, or it will get colder. The last time I still hear you said you were still frying. I still have a bit of my doubts on natural gas, but I think it has the potential of potentially going slightly a bit more up. But I would say I'm more in the sell side when it comes to natural gas. I'm not so optimistic about natural gas as I'm with actually crude oil crude oil prices.
And why is that?
It's more to do with the weather pattern for me. The biggest, actually, the biggest buyers of your natural gas is still the West or the European market. And when we actually switch, because you have a blistering cold, blistering heat now for summer, and now it's getting a bit cold, I doubt that you guys will actually freeze heavily this this winter. So I think we might see a bit of a pullback there. Maybe in January, when it gets really cold, that is where maybe natural gas can come back up again. But for now, until the end of this year, I think natural gas will come a bit down.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. Today we have a big day in the earnings calendar, because if we look at the earnings calendar, where is it? Where is my earnings calendar? There we go. Yeah, we have Amazon reporting after the closing bell. We have MasterCard. We have T-Mobile. Yeah, AstraZeneca. And talking about AstraZeneca, we have very interesting news about AstraZeneca. Let me find it. There we go. Now, first of all, Bloomberg reported earlier on, AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine doesn't raise the risk of a rare blood clotting disorder after a second dose, according to a study suggesting people shouldn't hesitate to get another one if they didn't have trouble after the first. The estimated rate of the disorder was about 2 per million in people, according to data published in the medical journal The Lancet. That's comparable to what's found in an unvaccinated population. Elsewhere, in the virus world, the rise of highly contagious Delta variant continues to challenge even the most aggressive COVID-19 containment regimes. Now, so far, so good. Everything is okay with this statement. However, the next one, got me raising my eyebrow, and there we go. Exclusive. AstraZeneca's exploring options for COVID-19 vaccine businesses, exec said. Okay, and this was released by Reuters, a few hours ago this morning. Let's have a quick look at the article. It's a very short one, okay? And then I have a question for you. So, AstraZeneca is exploring its options for the future of its COVID-19 vaccine business and expects greater clarity on the matter by the end of 2021, a senior executive told Reuters this morning, basically. We're exploring different options, Rod Dober, Executive Vice President and President at Biopharmaceuticals Business Unit, told Reuters, referring to the vaccines business. Before year end, we will have more clarity. If you ask me, is the vaccine business a sustainable business for AstraZeneca for the next 5 or 10 years? That big strategic question is under discussion. Now, and here's where the question is, Reiaan. Considering AstraZeneca is supposed to report today, isn't it a bit weird that these good news, and by all means, I'm not jealous whatsoever, and I do hope we all gonna see more and more good news from the vaccine providers. But isn't it a bit weird that this good news comes the same day with the report?
There is all a suspicion there. And it just drives sentiment. I think it's just how it works. Drive sentiment, and maybe that will actually get investors.
Well, we know the stock markets are mainly driven by the news and by the investor sentiment. And on rare occasions when we see massive and aggressive pullbacks or meltdowns of the markets, then we're going to go in and buy the dip if we want to, because we have to remember here, we're not giving investment advice. Right. Now we have, I got to keep compliance off my back, man, because you know how compliance is. They are like the tax person. Okay. No matter what you do, you're doing something wrong.
There's no one better than the tax person. No one.
Compliance. Right. We have another big news. We have a big debut on the Nasdaq exchange today. Okay, check this out. This is going to be way more interesting than the news with AstraZeneca. So, the big debut on the Nasdaq. The controversial Robinhood brokerage will make its debut today at a share price of $38 per share, giving the company a valuation of around $32 billion. Do you remember Robinhood?
Oh yeah, how can you forget him?
Right. For the ones of you, them, because it's a lot of them, not the Robin Hood, Reiaan, the Robin Hood from the States. Now, for the ones of you that don't know who or what Robin Hood is, Do you remember the scandal last year when a group on social media started short squeezing GameStop and AMC Entertainment and silver futures? Now this is the Robin Hood I was talking about. Right. Robinhood priced its public offering at the low end as investors seem a bit hesitant to commit to a company that has recent and high-profile run-ins with the regulators over its business model. What do you make of this debut, Reiaan? Are they brave or what?
I think personally, I think it's brave, and I think they just needed to do it. Well, whenever there's controversy, there's normally opportunity. And I think it's just the best time for them just to go ahead and get it over and done with. To wait, and then all the attention moves away, and then you actually might miss out.
The trouble with this one, it's not that they're getting listed, because by all means, anyone can get listed if they tick the boxes. But correct. They had to go and get listed at the low end of their initial public offering, because people are still not trusting Robinhood, especially after all the scandal that was around the AMC Entertainment and GameStop. And that's when the regulators kicked in. So I don't know what to say. It's a brave move. It's a brave move from my point of view. They could have, they could have waited maybe a bit longer and gain a bit more trust from the people, so they can get listed somewhere mid-range, or at the high range at their initial public offering.
Or maybe they can pull a stunt.
This is it. We know they're brave. We know they're brave, and we know they think outside the box, or they do things outside the box. Now, if this lines up with what the regulators do, then it's no problem. But they got into trouble, and hopefully they're going to stay out of trouble from now on. All right, we're a couple of minutes away from the opening bell, so let's have a 30-second break, and then we're going to come back with the stocks of the day, and shortly after the opening bell, we're going to come back with the charts of the day. Are you ready, Reiaan? Are you ready for this opening today?
I'm with you. I can't wait.
All right. Stay tuned. We're coming back live in 30 seconds with stocks of the day and then the charts of the day in the U.S. markets open.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.
Right, we're only a couple of minutes away from the opening bell, beautiful people, on this beautiful Thursday, 29th of June, 2021. Let's see what's happening with the stock markets and what's expected to happen at the opening bell with the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones indices were set to rise today as a slate of strong corporate earnings reports and data showing a pickup in U.S. economic growth reinforced optimism around a steady post-pandemic recovery. Ford Motor jumped 4.9% in pre-market trading and was on course to open at a 2-week high as it lifted its profit forecast for the year. The big industrials, Boeing, Caterpillar, and banks including JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America and Citigroup gained between 0.7% and 1.4% a day after the Federal Reserve said it was not yet time to start withdrawing its massive pandemic-era monetary stimulus. The central bank's comments also rose fears that a rise in cases in the Delta variant would hurt a solid U.S. Economic rebound. The data today showed the gross domestic product increasing at 6.5% annualized rate in the second quarter, while jobless claims fell to 400,000 for the week ended July 24th. These are the latest news. Let's see what's going to happen with the US indices. And now let's have a quick look at the charts and see how the markets performed today on the European trading session. Only one day after the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell rest assured basically on a very dovish tone that the tapering will not start yet. We're looking at the euro trading versus the US dollar today at 118.78 with the RSI stochastic up into the overbought levels a minute ahead of the US markets open. Great rally on the European trading session for the euro today versus the US dollar. However, a correction is expected to happen like basically every day after such a rally. Moving on, we're looking at the pound, which had a similar trajectory with the euros after the Fed interest rate decision and press conference last night. We saw it rallying on the European trading session, 139.63 at the opening bell today. Again, with the RSI and the stochastic somewhere up into the overbought levels. So we might see a bit of a correction happening for the pound after the opening bell. USD JPY traded to the downside starting last night. Yeah, currently trading at 109.81. Yeah, with the RSI stochastic somewhere undecided. Yeah, we might see a bit of a shake-off in the markets following these aggressive movements in the exchange rate. However, the tone that Jerome Powell set for the US dollar, okay, will probably push the US dollar and its against its peers to the downside in the upcoming days. The Aussie dollar did tremendously well on the European trading session today, gaining a lot since yesterday. 0.7382 is the current market price. And earlier on in the session, we saw the Aussie dollar trading as high as 0.7415. Yeah, there is the correction I was telling you about. Okay, we see a bit of a sell-off happening now at after the opening bell, okay, which makes perfect sense. However, if we're going to see a change of trend, then this correction will only go 50% of the movement. So we might see the corrections ending there or a bit lower, yeah, around the 50% retracement mark from this leg up that we saw yesterday. USD CAD traded aggressively to the downside starting last night, 124.74 for the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar at the opening bell today. RSI stochastic pointing upwards. So once again, a correction is expected. And if the downtrend will continue for the US dollar, then the correction might stop at 125.41, yeah, or somewhere in that region. Okay, to give you a clear example on the charts here, we might see a retest of that resistance level, yeah, halfway, and then the downtrend might continue, pushing the US dollar below the 124.75 level, yeah, towards the 124 flat. Let's see what's happening at the opening with the S&P 500, which closed the day in red yesterday. Positive opening for the S&P 500 this afternoon, $4,420.50, again with both indicators pointing upwards. There is a bit of volatility, guys, so if I were you, yeah, I would let the markets settle for a few minutes before I would jump on a trade. But do your own research, do your own analysis, and do whatever you think it's best for you. We see the Dow Jones opening aggressively to the upside today, 35,133.76 at the opening bell. Very good performance for the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which yesterday closed the day in red. Let's see what happened with Apple at the opening. Apple is pushing to the upside, 145.95. After yesterday, I was talking with Brad Alexander, okay, and we were wondering what can Apple do to avoid the chip shortage, and how high can the share price go. Amazon will report today. We see after the closing bell, we see Amazon literally unchanged after the opening bell, 3,625.06. Yeah, with the RSI pointing downwards, we see stochastic pointing downwards as well. So probably traders are a bit cautious, yeah, when it comes to trading Amazon before Amazon reporting their earnings. NVIDIA opened to the upside, $197.16 and 20 cents for NVIDIA, and rising. Yeah, we might see NVIDIA rising all the way up to the $200 mark, yeah, or 205 today on the US trading session. The US dollar index, which traded sharply lower yesterday, seems to be not wanting to correct just yet. A few minutes after the opening bell, trading at 92.01. Yeah, with RSI stochastic, with the RSI in the lower section. Okay, that usually indicates a bit of a sell-off. Yeah, it indicates a bit of a downtrend. So I'm not going to be surprised if I'm going to see a bit of a correction happening on the US dollar index today. However, considering the RSI is in the lowest part of the charts, then we might see the downtrend continuing for the US dollar index. And Reiaan, I don't know if you remember, I was talking about this yesterday. And if we look at the charts on a 4-hour chart, yeah, we can clearly see something that looks like a reversal of the trend for the US dollar index. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I agree with you with that.
Yeah, and to compare it, yeah, to get a second confirmation, we're looking at the euro versus the US dollar, which is trading at the exact opposite pole to the US dollar index. So if my assumption is correct, in the next month or so, we might see the euro trading towards its previous highs, towards the 122.77, or the 122 flat mark. And in contrast, we might see the US dollar index trading towards its lows at 89.77. Yeah, we're somewhere in that region. Does this make sense to you, Reiaan?
Absolutely, and that I think that 89 level mark on the dollar index, that is actually a very strong support sector there.
Yeah, because if the US dollar index drops below that, then probably the Fed will start worrying a bit. Yeah, because overall, taking it one step further and looking at the charts on a daily chart, we're looking back in time since 2016. Yeah, we can see the US dollar index heading towards the same lows it had in 2018 in February. Okay, so the US dollar index is trading quite low now. Let's see what's going to happen. Right, this is what's happening with the markets. Reiaan, what else would you add to what we saw in the markets so far?
I think traders will just have to be patient on this one. So don't get too overexcited about this bull run or a commodity run that's actually happening. Just take it day by day, be patient, and just know that there's a lot of risk that can happen coming from communist China that tries to do something with the market that side. So there's a lot of risk. Although everything look on the upside, there's some extreme risk. You still have the Delta variant as well, because sometimes we're getting one track minded and we just look at one way, everything works, and then boom, a surprise comes in. So please be alert on all of those things.
True, very well said. Would you be confident now going long or short today until next week on any asset?
No, not at all. Not with you still have a Delta variant that is still crippling the world. Then you have the possibility of regulation that will come out of China when it comes to the tech companies or all the companies, big companies in China. So there's still a lot of risk going around, and which can actually pose a heavy correction. Unless you have a large account, maybe you can carry it, but I will definitely not do it.
So you prefer the short-term trades, a few hours, maybe in and out, just to avoid the huge volatility.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see what's happening with gold price. A few minutes into the US trading session. Right. I'm going to go on a 50-minute chart. There we go. This is the US dollar index. Right. Gold futures gained tremendously since yesterday, over $25. 1,826.80 is the current market price. And shortly after the opening bell, we can see gold futures pushing even higher. Yeah, we can see the candlesticks consolidating there in the upper section. Yeah, and if you look towards the bottom of the chart at the indicators, we can see the relative strength index still stuck in the upper section of the chart. That usually implies a change of trend to an uptrend. Also, the stochastic, a bit lower. It's somewhere caught around the 50% mark. Okay, so again, stochastic pointing upwards. The dollar might continue the downtrend today, and gold futures might push towards the 1830, why not even 1840 Yeah, we saw swings like this happening in the past as well. Right. Brent oil futures, $74.37, a push to the upside. However, not a lot of confidence is shown on the Brent oil and crude oil charts for the upside just yet. We're looking at silver futures following gold to the upside. Aggressive movement for silver futures on a 60-minute chart. $25.65 a few minutes into the U.S. trading session. No notable correction happened just yet for silver futures. So I don't know what to say. We might see silver pulling back a bit. However, seeing the price action, moving above this resistance level, and seeing the candlesticks somehow consolidating above this level might lead some traders, to move their first take profit to the upside, around the 2610 level, or why not even higher, at the other level at 2655. Okay, so if this movement will continue, then probably traders will eye for those two levels as their exit strategies. Right, let's see what's happening with Tesla. Reiaan's favorite, isn't it, Reiaan?
Elon Musk from South Africa, so yeah.
All right, there we go. Exactly. That's where I was heading with this one. But he took the money out of South Africa and he deposited the money now, God knows where, in the States or in Cayman Islands or God knows where. Or why not in space or in Bitcoin. 659.99 for Tesla this afternoon. We saw a decent push on the US trading session yesterday. We saw a positive opening today. So go Tesla. Yeah, hopefully you're not gonna go down ever again. And if you will, obviously you're gonna hedge it with Bitcoin. 659.73 current market price. RSI stochastic pushing upwards. Okay, we see Tesla reaching a very interesting resistance level there, around the 664.47 mark. And if that level will be broken to the upside, then probably traders will eye for the 693, or why not the $700 mark. There's also a possibility of Tesla trading to the downside. 632 would be the first level where stock traders might push their take profit levels. Now we see Facebook opening to the downsides, 362.30 for Facebook. After Facebook share price tanked in the pre-markets open, after the social media giant warned of a slowdown in advertising revenue in the next quarter, or from now on, basically, due to regulatory changes. Alibaba opened to the upside, 198.31, and the infamous Bitcoin is still steady at just short of the $40,000 mark, 39,897 a few minutes into the US trading session. And Ethereum is also steady, but on an uptrend, on a rise overall. There we go. Higher lows there for Ethereum, 2,314.82. Right, Reiaan, let's have a look at some trading signals provided by investing.com. Okay, I'll do the currency pairs. Do you want to do commodities? Meanwhile,
commodities.
Commodities. Okay, I'll let you do commodities then. Bear with me for just a second. I'll get everything ready for you. There we go. Right, just a second. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. There we go. Tell us what investing.com thinks about the market.
Like gold on a 5-minute, strong buy, moving average, strong buy. It's all over strong buy. Hourly, daily, strong buy across the board. We have silver indicators, strong buy. We look at the chart also. On a daily, it's neutral, but on the hour, strong buy. But when you show that chart of silver, where it was sitting nicely, it looked like a new support level there. It can just actually go further up with silver.
And it is going further up.
Absolutely, yeah. So I personally think it has the potential, it can go further up. Actually, very good signal there. Copper, strong sell. This was for me actually a bit confusing, actually, when you asked me earlier also about copper. But this was on a 5-minute, strong sell, then a strong buy. And I think this is the daily. Crude oil, definitely WTI, strong buy across the board. Brent, the same story as your crude oil, buy across the board. Natural gas, actually, I'm disappointed in this signal, but they're saying actually it's a strong buy, and I was talking about a more look like a sell to me. But, well, I will go with investing.com with a strong buy. And then you have wheat. This is also a strong buy across the board. It's just with copper and natural gas, actually, for me, there was just a very strange behaviors that actually happened there. I thought literally that it would go straight to the roof, just like with your gold price. With the dovish Federal Reserve, you expect commodities to actually go up.
Yes, but overall we see a lot of green on the commodities charts today. Let's see how the currency pairs look like a few minutes into the US trading session. Let me see where that is. There we go. So commodities, we're looking at Euro USD and GBP USD with strong buy signals coming from investing.com on all 4 time frames for the pound and on 3 out of 4 time frames for the euro. USD JPY, USD CHF, strong sell on all 4 time frames. The Aussie dollar seems to be pulling back a bit with a couple of strong sell indications. The euro seems to be pulling back versus the pound with 4 strong sell indications. And neutral for USD CAD. On a 5-minute and a 15-minute chart, hourly, daily remain a strong sell. So overall, the sentiment remains dovish for the euro and the pound, and very, very hawkish for the US dollar from what we see here. Euro CHF, strong sell all over the board. GBP JPY and GBP CHF, okay, we see a few strong buy indications on the currency pairs. So, yeah, overall, we're looking at the euro and the pound strengthening versus the US dollar, USD JPY and the USD CHF weakening with 4 strong sell indications. Now, obviously, don't take my word for it. Don't follow the signals blindly. Do your own research, do your own analysis, and then if you consider the time is right, you know what you have to do. Right, Reiaan, should we wrap it up for today?
Oh, yes, I see the sun is shining outside. It's actually coming out, but I'm a bit surprised.
Right. From September, though, we're gonna have some live trading happening after the news. So there's the news, everyone. Yeah, the big things will happen from September. Right. This is it, Reiaan. Thank you ever so much for being with us today. I'll see you on Monday. Yeah, tomorrow I'm taking the day off. Well done. Cheers, man. Right. Okay, cheers, Reiaan Hobson. Right, ladies, gentlemen, traders, this was it from our side today. Join us again on Monday, same time, same place for new round of market talks. We're going to have more guests and more things happening in the markets, and we will always keep you posted with the latest news from trustworthy sources. Once again, this is it. Join me again next time for a new round of market talks, and until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money. This show was sponsored by Markets.com.
Keep your finger on the market pulse with the News Alerts tool. Stay up to date on the latest sentiment across all the major asset classes. Uncover bullish or bearish signals tied to specific assets that could be developing before major price moves, and track how news sentiment correlated with price in the past. Track the news volume on an asset, its fear index, and get a better feel for its underlying strength. All with News Alerts, your central hub for market information. That's higher trading from MarketsX.